Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is a new podcast, a new type podcast for you all. Um, Welcome, first and foremost. So, this is Podcasting 201. Now, I named it 201 because I'm going to keep this separate from the aviation side, but we're still going to roll and keep way with the aviation family and the aviation theme and channel. Okay. Now, it's gonna be a little, interesting because, um, what we're going to end up doing on here is I'm going to basically give you a rundown of all of the updates of the ToGA Brother channel. Stuff that you guys are not aware of, stuff that you haven't been informed of yet, things you guys would like to ask of me. So, on this particular one, I'm going to open up the comment section down there. If you want to drop a comment, feel free while we're live. Okay. And I hope that you guys are enjoying these podcasts and all that good stuff. Um, so, without further ado, let's address the elephant in the room. Where have I been? Good question. Okay. Now, for those of you guys that are aware, you guys probably know where this is going. If you are not aware, you guys probably are not aware of what I'm about to tell you. And boy, do I have some information to share. Okay. First and foremost, who knows what this is? Okay. If you said an airport map, well, you get my prize for today's podcast because you are absolutely correct. Well, what does this have anything to do with today's podcast? Ladies and gentlemen, back in, I'd like to say October, there was an reopening for a job position that I reapplied for. And I will explain the synopsis of why we got to where we are now. Am I ashamed of it? We can discuss that later. Am I proud of it? Maybe, maybe not. But we are here today nonetheless. So let's get that part out the way. Okay. I am dedicated my basically last 5 weeks of absolute boot camp of my job. Okay. Now, that's where this comes in. Okay. That's where, hold on, folks. Okay. There we go. Much better. Okay. So that's where this comes in. This comes in because I have had to learn all of the runways, all of the taxiways, all of the frequencies, all of the gate areas, and all of the taxi lanes. Okay. You don't need to know this, but I do. So for the last 5 weeks, I have been on what is called the move team. Now, the move team is a big section of United Airlines. It's a big section of the airport. Matter of fact, a lot of your major airline carriers, the big four, um, we've got Delta, we've got American, we have United. Now, I'm not certain that Southwest does this. They might, but I don't think they do it to the extent that we do it because I'm certain that Southwest does not have in its fleet wide body style aircraft. Okay. That would be your, technically it's a narrow body, but we really classify it as a wide body. The 7.5, the 7.6, the 777, and the 7.8. Okay. They do not have those major aircraft types. Matter of fact, they don't even have the Airbus. It's just a strictly Boeing 737 fleet. So I'm almost positive that they don't have tow tractors to do this. Now, they have pushback tractors, which they do the same sort of thing. Okay. But in any case, back to where I was going with this. I have been absent because each week they have been asking of us a 50 to 70 question exam. Now, you might be thinking, well, I mean, sure, you might really pass it, but do you really need to? Yes. So let's put this in perspective. Okay. If you value, okay, let's picture yourself purchasing a 787-900 series. Okay. One of them is $279 million. Okay. If I connect my tractor, I say my, but our company's tractor 4 times, do the math here, 250, 500, 750, a million. Now, 250 million, 500 million, 750 million, $1 billion. I am touching $1 billion worth of assets for my company. This is no light feat, folks. This is no messing around kind of gig. This is no, oh, I can mess up once, everything will be fine. This is serious business. We're talking about dealing with the FAA. We're talking about dealing with airport operations. We're talking about dealing with Boeing. We're talking about dealing with Airbus. We're talking about dealing with local municipalities. We're talking about dealing with local authorities. Everybody on a local scale. Okay? Right? Pretty much you can't screw up. Okay? So, with that being said, I have been studying all over this entire picture. All of it. Okay? I've studied my airport layout. I've studied the signs, lines, and markings. I've studied communication. I've studied everything. Now, for those of you guys that aren't aware, week 1, which started pretty much right after, yeah, Halloween, was like my Halloween present. They were pretty much informed me. So, short little story here before we get into this. I was on the mobile lounge. It's like the mobile shuttle that they take us from the, area from the terminal to the gate section. I was pretty much like, so here's the deal. Um, I am on my way to my gate area, my assigned area. So, um, am I going to start working for my new assignment area or what's going on? So, as it turns out, they went ahead and told me, yeah, so you just got approved for a new position. That new area that you asked to work in, yeah, disregard all of that because we're going to put you in a new area. I'm like, okay, so you're going to start me in about 2 weeks. Cool. I'm excited. They said, not so fast. Keep in mind, this was like Friday or Saturday. And so I was usually off on the weekend. They said, not so fast. You start Monday in 2 days. Folks, if I could show you the binder I have to study, it is this thick. I am not exaggerating. It is this thick. Imagine a 3-inch binder of notes that you have to study. It's that thick. How many of you guys know lawyers? Okay. Like licensed, practiced lawyers of law. You guys ever heard of the bar exam? Bravo Alpha Romeo, the bar exam. Now, if you don't know what I just spelled, go back to my ToGA channel and check out my phonetic alphabet lingo exercise and see if you can figure out what I spelled. But it says bar in phonetic alphabet. Bravo Alpha Romeo, bar. And if you guys know what the bar exam is, okay, who knows what the ASVAB is? Who knows what the SAT exam is? You guys see a common theme here? Okay. So the bar exam was an entrance exam, right? So Over each week, we're given a 50-question bar exam for the next following week, right? But at week 1 of this whole shindig, it was orientation. We learned how to connect to a plane. We learned how to drive our equipment. We learned how to use the equipment. We learned how to speak. We learned how to use the words. We learned our airport map, aka layout. Okay. And yes, this is Canvas. Okay. If you think that's nothing, or if you think that's much, I also made this. Yes, it was established in 1962, controlled by Metropolitan Washington Airport Authority, otherwise known as MWA. MWA. MWAA. MWA. Okay. Yeah, I was kind of being funny there, but you get the point. So there's our runways, there's our taxiways and everything. Now, this is a bird's eye view from afar. This is kind of a undetailed, very generic view. This is a more detailed view. But ladies and gentlemen, one moment. I'll be right back. It gets even better. Please stand by. Okay, so back to the show. So you think that was a lot, right? Doing this? Check this out. That's nothing. That's cute. I took plain poster board and I drew all of the taxiways, the spots, the taxiway turnoffs, the runways, and the frequencies. Needless to say, folks, I can almost read Dulles in the back of my hand. Oh, that's funny. That's a new spot. Just kidding. You guys get the point, right? I can pretty much tell you where each point is on the map in Dulles. I can almost pretty much become a pilot at this point. I don't have my FAA license. I'm not, a private pilot yet. Yet. There are still works of maybe possibly becoming a pilot. That's still in the process. I don't know. And for those of you guys that are aware and have been following me, you guys should by now already know I have my full Boeing. I'm pointing over there, but it's actually like over here, right? A Boeing yoke. Matter of fact, you guys see it right over there? There's the Boeing yoke. There's the throttle quadrant right there. Okay. The Boeing yoke is right there by Thrustmaster. It's just sitting over there and right there. So that's in the works. That's in the talks. Oh, speaking of that, so we're going to kind of transition into something kind of new. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I'm typing on a new RGB keyboard. I'm using an RGB mouse. Pretty cool, right? So you kind of know where I'm going with this, right? Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I have a new PC. Yep. Clap, clap, clap. I ended up actually purchasing a case from a particular individual. Folks, if you have not used Facebook Marketplace, I highly suggest that you check it out. I buy everything there except the yoke. I bought the yoke at Micro Center because it was a specific item I needed and nobody else had it. So, anyway, matter of fact, when I say that, I mean the yoke and the throttle. Everyone has the yoke or the throttle, but not the throttle and yoke combination. So I bought that separately in a store. But anyways, so I bought a case which had a motherboard, which had the CPU, the GPU, the RAM, and it also had, what else did it have? It had something else. I forget what. Basically, it had everything I needed to start a computer. And I realized it was a very small case. And I'm like, but I want something bigger to have and house a lot more pieces because eventually, guys, I'm going to have a whole flight sim setup. Just like you see some of those guys that are crazy, right? If money was no object and I speak into existence, right? I would have my own like overhead panel like right above me, right? A Boeing overhead panel, okay? And then right on my, desk area, I'll have, like, a full Boeing, pedestal and throttle quadrant and then yoke and everything, pretty much short of the actual Boeing, fuselage. And there's a video that I might link in this video where a guy actually goes to find a junkyard and he cuts a real Boeing 737 fuselage, like the flight deck. He cuts it, he puts it on a trailer, and he drives, and he moves it all around to his house, and he puts it in his garage, and he makes this gigantic simulator out of it. Now, I don't think it's a motion simulator, but it's a real live simulator. It's got all the buttons and switches and selectors and ATC working radio and all that good stuff. Of course, you can't contact ATC directly, but it's like an online group called VATSIM, VATSIM, VATSIM. Matter of fact, check out the chat. It's VATSIM. Okay. VATSIM. And this is for Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. It's for X Plane and it's for pre. Yeah. It's for those 3 major titles. Okay. Um, so yeah, that basically you can contact ATC with everything. So yeah, so I know I say so when I'm kind of going on here, guys. I don't script any of my videos, so just bear with me here. And by the way, I do have autism, so it's kind of conflicting certain times in certain ways. But I'm giving you content. I'm giving you feedback. Okay. But anyway, so back to the PC. So I found a bigger case because I wanted to put more components in it. So I went and bought the bigger case and I stuck the GPU, the graphics card. I stuck the RAM in there. I stuck the CPU in there. I added a CPU cooler. I added some SSD, both physical and a card, PCI card in there. I added a Wi-Fi card, Wi-Fi 6E card in there. I added a CD-ROM drive because who has a CD-ROM drive anymore these days, right? But I still would like to watch DVDs, like old DVDs on my DVD rack on my computer. So I put one of those in there. I put also one of those card readers in there on there as well. Um, what else did I put in there? Trying to remember. I think that's about it. I put in a few hard drives in there for storage space and all that. Um, and I also do have some programs that I am running on there, but that's for here nor there. So, yeah, that's basically where I've been, guys. That's why I haven't been doing a lot of content lately. Um, so if you bear with me, okay, I've passed week number 1, which was orientation. That was the first week. Then the second week was signs, lines, and markings. I'm sorry, phraseology, which is basically a dictionary of airport words, right? And FAA words. Then the second week was signs, lines, and markings and aircraft numbers. And then the third week was the comms test. And the comms test is pretty much a bunch of scenarios. And they're going to grade me whether or not I know how to speak to ATC, the tower, all that using real verbiage, like standard aircraft verbiage. Now, I'm not going to get into it because It's neither here nor there, but if you guys would like to see some of that, you can YouTube it, you can Google it. I you do your own thing. Um, and then week 4 is the final exam. We haven't gotten to week 4. I just passed week 3. So, this is the big one. This is the mother of it. So, that's why I haven't been very attentive to you guys because I'm studying for the final exam. This is huge. This is about 250 some questions. Okay. It's massive. Now, pending completion of that, which I will, knock on wood. Yes, this is real wood. Just so you guys are aware. This is real wood. Okay. Um, I will be moving on to what's called OJT, which is on the job training. And that's 5 weeks of that. That means I have to be at my top level, my top game. I have to be performing among most of my colleagues and all that good stuff. Okay. So now that you know that, let's move forward. I will be on a 4-day workday, 3-day off training schedule. So I will have 4 days of work at 10 hours each for 40 hours and 3 days off. So I can bring you content during some of those days, right? And then I can bring you content, obviously, during those other days. I'm going to try to get more content pushed out to you guys. So go ahead and stay with us. I appreciate all of your support, all of your patronage. I appreciate each and every one of you guys helping us out here. It really means a lot to us. I'm always coming up with ideas on some content to push to you guys and what to feed you guys. You guys have been great. I appreciate that. So I'm going to cut this short. I did not intend for this to be more than 20 minutes long, but here it is, 22 minutes. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much where the update is for me. One small little update I would like to point out that's not really aviation nor my job related. I just bought a huge dresser slash armoire and it has to weigh at least 200 pounds. This thing was a monster to get in here. We had to put it on a dolly. I had to move it in there to get it on sliders, slide it in there. But it's made of full black Italian lacquer and metal. I mean, it is heavy. So, yeah, I'm pretty impressed about that. And then just recently, I went ahead and got a new desk, as you guys can see. There you go. There's my other mic. There's my other joystick. Yeah. So a lot of stuff is happening, folks, right in the works. And I hope that things will go pretty smoothly. Um, Later on down the road, I think I'm probably going to end up having to move locations. So stand by on that. I know, spoiler alert, you guys might see a new location in the distant future. So anyway, I will fill you in as we go. But I appreciate you guys staying with us, sticking by, and I'm going to go ahead and cut tonight's podcast right here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. Feel free to drop a like, subscribe, whatever you guys want. You guys know the drill. You guys want ready to do this with me? We're going to do the standard greeting, standard sign off. You ready? I'm Sean, ToGA brother. I'm out.